for tuning in. I wanted to remind you of our Road to 1,000 Subscribers giveaway that we have going on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe and have a public profile, you'll be entered to win a free RX Smart Gear original jump rope. You'll get to pick the pattern of the handles, the color and weight of the cable, and you'll be getting one of the best-selling, best-performing jump ropes out there. Every time we hit a new century mark with the number of subscribers to our channel, we'll randomly select a new winner. And our friend Dave Newman is going to throw in a little something extra for each winner. So a special thanks to our sponsor, RX Smart Gear, to Dave Newman for being such a great partner, and to you for being a loyal listener. Good luck, and I hope you are our next winner.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk to you about our new sponsor, Element 26. They are an innovative company producing lots of products around the CrossFit, strongman, powerlifting space. They have weightlifting belts, they have knee sleeves, they have thumb tape. They have these cool little straps that go around the bars when you're trying to attach a bar to the rig and maybe using it for low bar work, like pull-ups for little kids, or some modifications for like bar muscle ups when you're trying to teach someone to do them. And you know how you wrap those rubber bands around the rig and the J hook to kind of keep everything straight? Well, they've made straps for that. And they're straps kind of like the straps you use for rings. They have a really secure system on it, and you can wrap around the bar and keep that nice and secure. I love their innovation. Their product development team is top notch, and they're just coming up with really different ideas for our space. So check them out at element26.co. That's element26.co, and tell them Kat sent you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Switzer. I'm your host. I'm the Clydesdale. We love to do fitness, and I'm with my friend Bern Prince with CrossFit Invictus. He is a coach there, and we're going to get to know him a little bit better. And then eventually what we're going to talk about today is the CrossFit Invictus Invitational. And that is a special event that Bern has been involved with, and we want to learn more about that. But first, I want to learn more about you, Bern. So I read that you started CrossFit in 2007, so you are like OG, out of the womb CrossFit legend, right?
I won't go far as to say legend, but yeah, I started. I always say this is it's not odd now, but I started at a gym with Ben Bergeron. I was his coworker, and he kept talking to me about this like CrossFit thing, and me being really smart, I said, "This sounds stupid," and he was like, "No, give it a shot," and I gave it a shot, and it's been with me ever since, if I'm being honest. So it's awesome. I really like the methodology. Fitness-wise, it makes the most sense to me. So CrossFit has not only provided me with a high level of fitness, but it's provided me my occupation for the last about 13 years. So yeah.
So what's your background? Where did you come from? Where did you live? And what was your athletic background back then?
Sure. I'm from Boston, and I think like most people, athletically, I was just recreational, right? I played all the sports you can think of, and not well enough to get any scholarships. So I just started working out because I say this all the time. You work out for two reasons: sanity and vanity. And for me, it's mostly sanity. So working out clears my head, and I've always found that when I work out, I'm just in a better space. So it intrigued me so much. I took steps to make it my profession. So let me hear, I guess. Hope that answered your question.
Yeah. So what was the trigger point that told you that this is what I want to do for my living?
I don't think there was ever like one big trigger, right? I think it's one of those things you're just in the gym culture, and you're, basically through immersion, right? You're hanging out at the gym, you're making friends at the gym. It probably is the story of a lot of people. You're finding it's your happy place, and then you spend so much time there, you're wondering, well, if I'm going to spend this amount of time there, how can I not only enjoy it, but make money off of it, or make a profit off it? Excuse me. Woo. I have a sneezing fit. So there was no seminal moment. I think it just happened where I just met a lot of people with similar mindsets, and it just makes sense to me. It still makes sense to me.
So did you start in like a globo gym doing your traditional fitness?
Yes, I'm certified. I became a personal trainer at what they call, from where I'm at, a Boston Sports Club. And around 2005 and 6 is when the CrossFit boom started happening. And like I said, my coworkers were Ben Bergeron, Heather Bergeron. I met some other CrossFit athletes at the time at the Globo gym practicing CrossFit, and kind of just found out about boxes and did my research. And so it's blossomed from there.
When you wanted to get into the fitness world, did you have any mentors that kind of helped guide you, or did you have to learn it all on your own?
Oh, that's a great question, Scott. Truth, I didn't have, I bugged the personal trainer at my gym to an annoying level. I think his name was Bobby. If I ever see him, I owe him a hug. I would ask him all these questions, and finally he was like, he gave me 3 books, and he was like, you seem interested and you're bothering the hell out of me. Here are these 3 books and figure it out. And I'm one of those people that once, it doesn't take much. The door just has to be cracked open a little bit, and I'll find my way in the room, if that makes sense. So I would say mentors are the wrong word, but I've met some really, really, really cool people on my journey. So I feel very lucky that I've met the people I've met, and it's brought me here.
So how old were you when you decided to go into the fitness world?
Right out of college.
Right out of college.
So right out of college. It wasn't, I did corporate America for a year, and, you know, I was sitting and I'm thinking to myself, I'm in a suit, I'm working. They always say you work 9 to 5. That's not true. You're working like 7 to 7, 7 to 8. There's no real breaks. And I was wondering why I was so moody. And the truth is, like, I wasn't working out and I wasn't moving my body, which didn't allow me to clear stress. So after a year of that, I was like, to hell with this.
Yeah. So what was that 1 year? What did you study in college, and what were you doing in corporate America?
Sure. I was an English major, and I was working at a marketing company in Detroit, Michigan, believe it or not. And just finding myself, if you will. Heck, Scott, if I'm being honest with you, I still think I'm finding myself, but I think we all are. But, you know, it's like that year, it's so interesting that you're asking me about that, like 1 year in corporate America. It was dark for me. I can only speak for my journey, but it was dark. And not to say I don't have dark moments now, but it's a lot better with fitness.
So you're doing the Globo Gym thing. Mm-hmm. Ben Bergeron talks to you about CrossFit. Correct. What makes you make the whole swing into going CrossFit full time and moving to Invictus Boston?
Once I find out about something and I'm passionate about it, I go all in. And this is going to sound like name dropping, but whatever, it's no big deal. Ben Bergeron opened CrossFit New England, and I met so many different people: Austin Maliolo, Spencer Hendels, Camille. But you're not looking at them as the people you see on YouTube or TV. You're just like, these are the people at the gym. And the more I got to know people like that and others that no one's ever heard of, the more it just made sense to me. It was just a good space.
Yeah, back then there were no YouTube channels or you know, CrossFit was still in its infancy.
There wasn't, not only in its infancy, like probably ignorance is bliss. I was too naive to know that some of the people I was working out with were superstars, for lack of a better term. Heck, still I work out with superstars in Invictus Boston. I mean, the Invictus brand alone, like I turn around and Steph Chung's there, or I turn around and it's Justin Wright, or I turn around and it's Tola. It's like, it's wild. It's still wild to this day. So it's fascinating. Yeah.
So when you jumped to Invictus Boston, did you go right into coaching right away?
Yeah, I've been coaching. Well, Invictus. So I keep saying Invictus Boston because Invictus also has a San Diego location and it has a Seattle location. We were in Boston. We were Reebok CrossFit Back Bay, and then we just took over the Invictus name about 3 years ago. So I've been coaching there since January 12th, 2012. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that's a long time. And yeah, we've actually had a lot of people on the show that have been at your gym, like Kelsey Keel for a while. And yeah. So you've been with them, and then I have to ask the question, right? You're a Black man and in the CrossFit world. What is that like? You know, we talk about all the time that there's a lack of diversity and inclusion, and so much so that the new CEO has created a team to look into that. How did that feel as being a Black man in the CrossFit world?
Scott, I like it. You get right into it. So first and foremost, I'm just a Black man or Black person in America, right? So I'm already like very well aware of what America is like, right? And this is, people get political. I won't. I just understand that there's certain biases. Okay. Now, the gym in my head was always my happy place, right? Where I could escape the biases. Okay. And then Glassman said what he said. So he brought it to my doorstep, which I know we'll get into. When Glassman said what he said, I think I got about 45 different messages, right? And Josh Foster, the CEO of my gym, called me. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, hear you
okay. Good. The CEO of my gym, Josh Foster, called me and he asked if I was okay. And I was like, I'm fine. And he said, well, but Greg Glassman said something pretty racist. And I go, an old rich white guy saying something racist is like another day in my life. So I think he just never heard me talk like that before. So he said, I think you have the opportunity to do something. So I know you're going to segue into this, but being a Black person in CrossFit is like being a Black person in America. And when Greg Glassman said what he said, I knew it was time to do something.
Yeah.
I know that's a long-winded answer.
Yeah, I think that what I find fascinating with your story is here you are, you're a Black man in the infancy of CrossFit with all of these surrounded by all these superstars of the game, right? And you are different than they are in the way you look and appear, and yet you still stand tall with them through all of that. And I think that's admirable, and I think it's the way it should be. And it sounds like that those people didn't treat you any differently than they treated each other.
No, well, here's the deal, right? And I've seen some of your journey as well. I think in the box is supposed to be the sacred space, right? It's supposed to be where you work out, you share sweat, and no matter what, you share in the pain and suffering. Because, even as conversations go and conversations get awkward, you can always be like, oh, that WOD was difficult, right? Like, no matter what, you can find a common ground in that workout. And I think if you sweat with people enough, you get to know what they're truly like, and you find out there's more commonalities than differences, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was fortunate where I would sweat with people and they would get to know me no matter what their biases were and no matter what my biases were. And I will say in the last 2 years, I found that that's not the same case for a lot of people. So I've taken it upon myself to do my best to show diversity in the sport.
So let's go ahead and segue into it. You created the Invictus Boston Invitational, and that is you're trying to celebrate that diversity and be more inclusive and show that inclusiveness. So I'm assuming the trigger point was the Glassman thing, as you kind of alluded to already. Go ahead and give us the details behind that.
Sure. Greg Glassman said what he said, and like I said before, the CEO of Invictus Boston called me and asked me if I was okay, and I told him I was fine, that I understand racial undertones. And then he was amazing because he said, Josh said to me, he goes, I think you have something to say in this space. And he said, I'll call you back in an hour. And in roughly about an hour, I wrote out soup to nuts across the competition. And it's the height of the pandemic. We know more now than we did back then. It was basically like everything has to be outdoors, everything has to be masked up, or it's not safe. So I put together a competition. We put it together in 32 days. And as silly as it sounds, the only caveat was you can't be racist. That was it. And I had people flying from all over and at their own risk. We had about 180 people the first year show up. We had 20 competitors, 160 spectators, all outdoors. We made it as COVID safe as possible. And it was amazing. And it was, I keep saying, I know the headline is celebrating diversity. I wanted to show the sport should be inclusive. And the sport has come a long way, but it still has a long way to go. I mean, you know, you're a fan of the sport like I am. You watch the CrossFit Games. If you looked at the top 20 males, top 20 female, like, God bless Guillermo for being there, right? On the female side, pretty white. And this is no knock on the athletes. This is what it is. Now, I look to the Masters side. The Masters is 98% white. And I look at the teams, and that's 98% white. So you're telling me the past of our sport, the present of our sport, and the future of our sport is all white. There's a problem there.
So you're in the third year of this competition to kind of show the diversity. And I have to say, I watched the promos that you sent me that you've used in the past. And I love that, like, I see you. And you took images from the past of different ethnicities of athletes competing and doing very, very well. And you kept saying, I see you. I see you. And it was such a moving a hype video advertisement, celebration of the Black athletes in the CrossFit space. So how can we move forward to give these people more opportunities?
I think that so going back to the sport, I think the thing is like the Zalos games and what we're doing. We're trying to provide opportunities not only for athletes to compete but get paid. It is a huge step in the right direction. The competition I run isn't just for Black athletes, but I want people of all ethnicities to know that this competition is a safe space, that I want you to be your best self, no matter what you look like. And I think we can do better. I know that we're trying that. I know Zalos Games is trying that. Heck, I know the Rogue Invitational is doing that. I think if competitions, the people that run the competitions make a concerted effort to make it more diverse, that'd be awesome. Behind the scenes, I'm running a competition. I've been doing some research. I think, and there might be one other person I have to do the research, but I'm pretty sure at least 2 years ago, I was the first Black person to run a worldwide CrossFit competition. Like, behind the scenes, we have to get better too, from being totally honest. And I know Eric Rose is moving in the right direction, but I don't know how fast he's moving. And so I can't wait on Eric. We can't wait on Eric. We have to do our part.
So I have a couple questions for you that are just kind of my thoughts, and I want to get your opinion. And that is, one, you know, with Eric Rosa coming in, new leadership, they created the Diversity and Inclusion Council. And do you think it's enough? I contend we haven't heard enough out of that group and what they're doing, what they're accomplishing. They've been around for a year, and I have not heard a thing coming out of that group.
So I'm putting myself in Eric Rose's shoes for a second, right? He inherited a dumpster fire. He did, right? Okay. So now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, he's like, I'm creating a council. I'm changing it from Reebok to Noble CrossFit Games. Right now he's currently doing a tour of Europe. This happens a lot with race. I think the immediate thing is to, like, we created a council. Okay, everybody's happy. Okay, he's addressed the issue. What does the council do? I don't know what the council's done for a year. They put Chandler in front, as they should, because he's a great face and great ambassador of the sport. But what are they doing? Are they checking in with affiliates and seeing how they can better diversify their space? Are they checking in with owners or people that run competitions like myself and seeing what they can do better? I don't know. So to answer your question, is I'm happy it's in place. I just wish it would move faster.
So you said you're the first Black person to run a competition. Has CrossFit ever reached out to you to find out how they can help you with your competition?
Yeah, to CrossFit's credit, they reached out and I reached out to them.
Okay.
You know, Larry Thomas, who's a great affiliate ambassador, came to the competition last year. I know that I'm trying to make this a worldwide competition, right? So, and there's no knock on local competitions. I think it's hard for some people in the CrossFit space to know the difference, right, between a local comp and a worldwide competition, especially because I've only been at it for 2 years, and the first year was put together in 30 days, right? So they've reached out, and I think they're going to. I want to make it so big that they can't ignore it.
Okay. So how do we get youth involved? I mean, to make a big change, you have to get youth coming through. And I want to ask you, with now the fact that image, name, and likeness can earn you money as a college athlete, does that open doors to athletes doing CrossFit as a side hustle?
Scott, that's an awesome question. I answer it in parts. The youth in CrossFit and diversity, I think that Easy Muhammad is doing a fabulous, fantastic job with what he's doing. I am looking at present day athletes, meaning, you know, I'm looking at the athletes right now who, you know, like Melanza Hayes, and Devin Browns, and you know, like she goes by Instagram handle of What's Up Annie. She was third place this year. The athletes now that don't get the love I think they deserve, that's what I'm concentrating on. But how to get the future involved, not to say that I'm going to leave it up to Easy, but I would tell anybody, first, second, and third. First person you go to Easy Muhammad, second person you go to is Easy Muhammad, and third person you go to is Easy Muhammad. My mindset now is to those athletes that haven't made the games or trying or haven't made the semifinals and they're close. I want to bring those athletes into our CrossFit competition and give them a spotlight. You know, I don't know if that helps. Yeah.
I just, you know, I just was thinking, if you have a track athlete who, you know, is starving and is in college but they're on scholarship, and they could go do a CrossFit comp and maybe take third place and win some prize money. What does that do to show them what they can do in the future? Plus, you know, you understand what I'm saying?
I understand totally what you're saying. And Scott, if I'm being 100% transparent, I think my first year, I'll go by what I did, okay, or what we've done. The first year was put together, like I said, in 32 days. So there was no prize money, right? So everybody's like, hey, like we're just fired up to do this, okay? Now, I had to run it the second year. And, you know, you've been around a lot of prominent people in the game. You can't just give somebody protein powder for winning an event. You know, you have to step up with money. So last year, I raised money, and I made sure I paid the athletes that hit the podium. I want to keep moving forward. And the reason I'm on shows like this and do podcasts is I'm trying to raise even more money. Because I am a believer that you have to pay the athletes. My point is, the more you pay, the higher profile the competition will become. That's simple. So let's say, I'll just throw out a number like $5,000, right? If your prize purse is $5,000 for an athlete for whatever reason, you'll have the college athletes show up to your competition. You'll have games athletes show up to your competition. I mean, look what Rogue's doing. You know, I think they're providing not only money, but Bitcoin, right? Like, you're going to have your pick of athlete the more money you raise. So what I want to do is I want to raise the money, but I want to make sure that my athlete, my field of athletes is diverse. I think that's very important.
I completely agree. So let's get the details out of the competition. Yeah. So you are going into your third year of the competition. What are the important dates? Are there qualifiers for it this year? What are the dates of the comp, and how do you get more information?
Yes. Scott, you're amazing. By the way, I've listened to your podcast. You're really good at this. First and foremost, the qualifier information will come out Halloween this year. So we did a qualifier last year. We're going to do a qualifier this year, running from basically Thanksgiving to January 17th. Okay. We only put out 3 WODs. You can do them as many times as you like if you want. We're taking the top 15 males and we're taking the top 15 females. The date of the competition is just like last year. We do it June 19th every year, for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And last year we had 60 athletes, and cash prizes again. The top 3 males, the top 3 females take home a cash prize. And we won last year we gave away, it was a lot of money. It was $4,500. This year I want to give away a lot more.
Okay.
Depending on obviously how many people sign up, and and depending on how many people, honestly, how many sponsors we get and how many people donate to our GoFundMe. So it's that simple. And if you people that want to find out information, just go to my Instagram at Bern, BERNK Prince, and I'm an open book.
And then where are you holding this?
I am going to hold it in the city. I want to make sure, we haven't signed the papers yet, but it's basically going to be a gym in the city with an indoor and outdoor rig. Because Scott,
Okay.
What's crazy is we did it the first year outdoors, we did the second year indoors, but I don't know where you are, but you're here in the Northeast, we're still wearing a mask indoors. So I don't know the COVID situation. So I want to have a gym that can be able to accommodate indoor and outdoor. So it's going to be in Boston. I'll say that. I just don't want to disclose the gym yet because we just haven't signed the papers.
Okay, awesome.
But it's going to be,
I'm in Columbus, Ohio. The COVID rules change, it seems like weekly.
It's unreal.
So yeah, one week it's mask mandate, next week we're okay. Then, so I totally understand that. So what do you?
I want to make it. I apologize for cutting you off. I also want to make it. It's an event, right? I think of CrossFit as almost, when I look at CrossFit competitions, I look at it as almost like a CrossFit concert, right? So it's as my duty as a host is to make it safe, not only for the athletes, for the spectators as well. So the reason I wanted to do an outdoor venue is I think if you're an athlete and you want your grandmother to show up to the competition, I think it would behoove me to make sure that the venue is outdoors. That's all.
And so what are the future plans? How big do you want to get? What are the incremental steps you want to take to get this to be a worldwide competition?
Scott, if I could project my ambition on it right now, I want it to be the Wadapalooza of the Northeast. I want it to be a destination competition. Truth, my whole mission statement is actually making it a small time comp with a semifinal feel. Meaning, I'm only doing 3 WODs. I'm not beating up the athletes. I think it's actually more fun to have 3 WODs, the crowd have a good time, and leave at under 3 hours, like a sporting event should.
Okay.
So my big plan is to make it the Wadapalooza of the Northeast, where no matter what, you and your crew come up every year. I'm assuming you're going to Wadapalooza this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to make it where, like, it's almost on the calendar. It goes, CrossFit Games. It goes Rogue Invitational. It goes Wadapalooza. It goes Invictus Boston Invitational. Because I know it can be that big. I also know, and forgive the long-winded answer, but I've been in the Northeast now since 2007, and the talent in the Northeast alone is wild. Like, you're talking, like, if you look at the talents coming out of the Northeast, we're talking Katrin, Matt, Kelsey. The Northeast has enough talent alone to be the who's who of the CrossFit world. And I think that I know for a while, and it's because of COVID, that we have not represented it that way. And hopefully I can do that. So
do you do the programming?
Yeah, I do. I have fun with it. I truly, I program. I think God bless the people that program every day for the gym. I think that's almost a thankless job. But I think that I truly believe that we're in a space in the sport where you can see the fittest over 3 or 4 WODs. I also think for the athletes, heck, what did the games have this year? 15 WODs? Like, that is a lot, and God bless them. But they're also competing for a way bigger cash prize. I kind of, I wonder, I wonder this every day. If there's a space for if I'm named CrossFit athlete, you know what? We'll use Kelsey. If I'm Kelsey and I still want to see my friends and I still want to make some money, but I don't want to go through 10 WODs, what is the competition I can go to now? And I think mine might be the only one where you're going to get 3 WODs, you're going to have a crowd, and you can walk away with some cash if you win, and it won't beat your training up for 2 weeks. So
I like that concept, and it's something that I really haven't heard out of anyone else is, a typical sporting event is 3 hours, right? A football game, a baseball game. To have a CrossFit event that's professional, that goes the length of a traditional sporting event is a really novel concept. And I think that could catch on.
Scott, I'm assuming you've seen multiple CrossFit events, right? It's funny when us as people that are fans of the sport, when we go, we can be there all day. But if you ever hang out with somebody that's not into CrossFit and you take them to an event, it's like, okay, the person with abs just had their chest touch the bar. The other person with abs had their toes touch the bar. It's awesome. But after like 5 hours, they're like, where's the cotton candy? Where's the drinks? Where's the food? Like they want to leave. In my head, and it worked last year, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I believe it's going to work again, where you can have people show up and treat it like a sporting event. I want it to be where my friend's 6-year-old daughter shows up, right? They show up, they're inspired by the athletes, they get some food, they have some water or a drink or whatever they have, and they understand the sport, they understand the standards, right? Like a burpee is a burpee, a squat, and they still have a good time. I think the CrossFit Games does a wonderful job of that. You've been to Vendor Village. The Games is awesome, but also is Vendor Village. I think it's like a great time where you walk around and you buy stuff and you get to hang out with people like you and who's the gentleman that does Make WODs Great Again? He's there doing his podcast.
Yep.
I think that's the essence of what a CrossFit event should be. And I am dating myself. I did a CrossFit Sanctional in 2009, right? And I thought it was wonderful, because we did 2 workouts in a day, right? And the rest of the day was spent in tents and just walking around and talking to people. Now, the sport's gotten bigger, right? It's on television. I forget what channel it's on, but it's huge.
CBS. Yep.
CBS. So I understand you can't have that same level of like, what the old school people like to say. You can't have that grassroots level. That's fine. You don't need that. The sport has grown up. But if the sport has grown up, our thinking about the sport has to grow up as well. Meaning how we see it. I see it as a sporting event for 3 hours where everybody can show up. Awesome. That's grown up. I also see it as like, before Glassman said what he said, we hid from the diversity thing for a while, and I'll put myself included. People would say that sport's not very diverse. And I'm just like, I'm going to put my head down and go. No, it's here. We have to grow up. The sport is still not diverse. And I'm not trying to be controversial. If I want to be controversial, I just say the sport's not diverse and stomp around. Sport's not diverse. Okay. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to invite athletes of all different backgrounds, and I will make sure that they know that they have a place to be welcome.
That's awesome, Bern. I want to thank you so much for jumping on with me, man. I think this is a great initiative. And I love that you have your boots on the ground and you're doing something about it. And, step by step, we can make change.
Hey, thank you. And Scott, I really do appreciate, I know you're going to edit this or how you edit it, but first off, I apologize for not having reception for the first 5 minutes, but I like you watched my videos. I've listened to your podcast. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think you've only had Clydesdale, this podcast for 2 years?
Yep. And
to see like you're one of the faces of CrossFit. You really are. For me, this is big because I basically, going into my 3rd year of running competition, and to shoot a DM to you and have you answer and be so responsive, like that goes a long way. I think things like this go a long way in making the sport better. Because at the end of the day, we're fans of the sport, man. And I want to be able to go to competitions, and I want to have athletes get paid. And I want to just have a good time and commingle with people like you. And I believe you co-hosted with Charles, if I'm not mistaken, and I forget the other name, Anna. And I'm sorry if I got the names wrong. But I think what you're doing is incredible. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Bern. And thanks for jumping on. And don't forget to get more information. Check out Bern's Instagram. It's at Bern K Prince on Instagram. And he has all the details there. Thanks again. And, we'll look forward to seeing you around, man.
Thank you, Sky. I look forward to it.